You ever have one of those quiet moments where, out of nowhere, you just think to yourself, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Well, today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating model from the book A Pitch in the Void. Now, this isn't a set of rules you have to follow. Think of it more like a map for navigating those big questions about consciousness, karma, and this whole journey we call life. So let's just start by framing this core idea. This isn't about finding one single answer that fits everybody. It's really about exploring a map that might just change the way you see, well, pretty much everything. You know, this question, it pops up for all of us at some point, right? Maybe it's after a really tough day. Or maybe, weirdly enough, it's after a huge success that still leaves you feeling a little empty. It's that quiet, persistent whisper in the background of our lives. Now, what's so cool about this approach is that it's not about dogma. It's not about what you should believe. It's about looking at life as this intelligently designed system. And this map, it's just a tool to help you navigate your own experience, maybe with a little less fear and a little more trust in the whole process. Okay, so to even begin to understand this map, we have to start at the beginning, the source of it all, the very foundation of this entire model. The book calls it great consciousness. And it's so important to get this right. It is not a person. It's not a judge, not some king sitting on a throne way up in the sky. Think of it more like pure, silent awareness. It's the space in which every single thought, every feeling, every event happens. To really get our heads around this, the book gives us this beautiful analogy. Just picture a vast, calm ocean. The key here is that the ocean isn't really doing anything, it just is. It's pure potential. It's this silent, aware space that holds everything, the possibility of waves, storms, you name it. It's not a force, it's the field itself. So if everything is this one big ocean, what are we? Well, according to this model, a soul is like a single wave. It has its own unique shape and speed. It thinks, I am me, I am this wave. But here's the thing, it's never actually separate from the ocean. It's made of the exact same stuff. And realizing that, well, that can be a huge shift, a way to dissolve that feeling of being all alone. Okay, so if we're all just waves from this one ocean, how does the journey of a life actually start? Well, it turns out we don't just pop up randomly. There's a bit of a plan. Before we even get here, we interact with two types of groups. First, you've got your soul group. Think of them as your team, the companions you choose to grow with. Then, there's the karmic group. These are the souls you have, let's call it, unfinished business with. This completely reframes our most difficult relationships, doesn't it? They're not punishments, they're opportunities for balance that we actually agreed to. It's almost like a group of actors getting ready for a big play. The soul group agrees on the roles. One soul says, hey, I'll play the difficult boss for you so you can learn patience. And another says, you know what? I'll be your super supportive friend to remind you of your own strength. It's all for each other's learning. Okay, this is my favorite part. This is where all those abstract ideas really start to click and make sense. The book gives this absolutely brilliant analogy for what it's like to be alive on Earth. Seriously, get ready for this one. Imagine the entire universe is a giant theme park, and your life, this specific life you're living right now, it's one of the rides in that park. It's such a simple idea, but it beautifully explains the relationship between our soul, our body, and this whole journey we're on. So let's break it down. The universe, that's the theme park. Your lifetime, that's the ride itself. The body you're in, that's the cart you're sitting in. And you, the real you, the consciousness experiencing it all, you're the rider. And your ticket to get on is your life force, or prana. Simple, right? But it's also incredibly profound when you think about it. But here's the twist, the crucial part of the whole experience. Once the ride starts, we get so into it, so immersed, that we completely forget we're the rider. We start to believe we are the cart. We say, I am this body, I am the story. And that, right there, that's the source of so much of our suffering, mistaking the temporary vehicle for who we really are. So, now that we're on the ride, and we're convinced we are the cart, what are the rules? What are the dynamics that shape our experience from this point on? Let's talk about fear. It's not a mistake in the system, it's a feature. The second we think, my body, my reputation, my money, we automatically create the possibility of losing it. Fear is just the shadow that gets cast by our attachment to the idea of mine. Understanding this is everything. It helps you see your own anxiety not as a personal flaw,
but as a little signpost pointing to where you're holding on too tight.
And what about karma? So often we think of it as this cosmic court, dishing out rewards and punishments. But it's so much simpler than that. Karma is just imbalance. Think of it like an energetic heat map. The things we do on the ride leave these little imprints, and over time, those imprints just naturally want to find balance again.
Which, of course, brings us to that massive, age-old question. If we've got a soul plan and this karmic path, are we just puppets playing out a script? Or do we actually have free will?
The answer this model gives is just beautiful. Yes, free will is absolutely real. But, and this is a big but, it operates within the fixed track of the theme park ride. We can't change the track itself, but we absolutely can choose how we react to every single twist and turn. Do we scream? Do we laugh? Do we close our eyes? Our response, that is our freedom. So what's the whole point of this ride, anyway? And how does it all end? Let's take a look at the end game here. The wisdom here isn't about trying to escape or jump off the ride early. Nope. The real goal is to learn how to enjoy it fully, with this idea of attachment with detachment. It's the cure for the rider's amnesia. It means you feel everything, you live it all, but some small part of you always remembers. You are the rider, not just the card. And that perspective, it reduces fear and brings this incredible sense of clarity. So how do you actually apply this stuff? Well, a few times a day, just pause and remember you're the rider. Notice where that feeling of mine is making you tense up. Try to honor your relationships as these agreements you might have made. When you can, choose responses that create more balance, not less. And finally, just try to hold life lightly, not carelessly, but lightly, without that crushing weight of identifying with every little thing. Because in the end, this map suggests you aren't just the temporary wave moving through life. You are also the deep, still ocean that the wave comes from. Remembering this, even for a split second, can change everything. So I'll leave you with this. What would shift for you right now, today, if you truly knew you were both?